Welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is Rev Trev. So glad that you're here. And today we're going to be talking about the hot topic of the day, Elias Pettersson. And my question that I want to ask and flesh out and hear your response, so please post in the comments. How much is too much for Elias Pettersson? Now, I know, and I've been watching different Canucks content creators, and there's been a lot of people saying it doesn't matter. There's no limit. You have to sign this guy or it cripples our chances to be competitive. You might as well rebuild if you can't have Elias Pettersson, even though he's on an RFA, even though we know that you can't give him too much. It's just bad business. I mean, I think the max contract that you can do is like $16 million. And listen, that's too much, right? 16 million. Now, he's not asking, at least I don't know, he's not asking for $16 million. But if you give one player too much money, honestly, it cripples a team's salary cap. We need to understand that. So the question is how much is he going to get and how much is he asking? Is it 10 million? Is it 11 million? Is it 12 million? Is it $13 million that Elias Pettersson wants to get from Vancouver? We understand he's our best player. He's 24 years old. He's young. He's good. He can play defensively. He works really hard. He's got an incredible slap shot. I love a lot of what he does in the game. So I'm not discrediting anything that Elias Pettersson has done to a point. You're going to see a little bit of my pushback for a second. But let's use the Oilers, for example, right? McDavid signed a massive contract, $12.5 million a number of years ago. That was really, really difficult. Even though he is the best player on the planet, then there's no argument on that. He is absolutely fantastic and well-deserved, right? $12.5 million. But it did cripple and make it difficult for them to compete at a certain level. They couldn't add the pieces that they needed to make it so they could have cup runs. And that's just a fact, right? So, think about it. Draisaitl, he's on a really good contract right now, $8.5 million. He's got 2 more years left remaining on that contract. And then what's he going to get? He's a top 5 player. And that's the question we want to ask about Pettersson is he a top 10 player? He was top 10 in scoring this year, but is he a top 10 player in the NHL? Now, yeah, so you got to think about this. What's Draisaitl going to get paid now? And then the Oilers go and do something totally dumb, and they sign Nurse for $9.25 million. He's not even a top 5 defenseman, and he's getting top end money. This is absolutely insane, and I get it. It's about supply, demand. It's about what you need, and you can't afford to lose, and I get that. So I made this video a while ago, actually not that, a few months ago, about does Pettersson deserve $11 million? And I thought I was being really generous when I made that video and thinking, yeah, probably he'll get maybe 10, the way with Aho's contract and all those different things. I thought 10 million and call it a day and be happy. I mean, $10 million a year, that's a lot of money, right? Should be happy with that. But it now seems after the Matthews contract that it's going to be higher, and that makes me nervous. Now, I just want to pause for a moment and just recognize my subscribers. I've got to 500 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I really hope that you've liked my Canucks content that is passionate, realistic, and honest. And I'm telling you, I'm not just a fan who leans and bleeds blue and green, but I'm realistic and I'm honest. And sometimes I push back. Just like this video, I'm going to push back a bit because I'm not just going to say what everyone thinks that I should say. I'm going to say it from my perspective because I'm a real fan, just like everyone else. And I just don't think that we should just all be going the same way and saying, oh yeah, no, whatever he wants, give it to him. No, that's awful business management for Vancouver. and I don't think they're just going to give him anything. So just everything. I mean, so I've got a lot planned for this season. There's going to be a lot. I mean, Canucks are a hot topic right now. They have been for a while. Even in our struggling, there's been a lot to talk about. But coming up to the season, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of hope. So please, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, right now is a great time to do that. And if you want to hit that notification bell to get it when I release a video, and so you don't miss anything. A couple of the subscribers said, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that you made that video on that." Hit that notification bell, and we would love to. I'd love for you to get all that stuff right away. Okay, so now, some people have been asking, "Are you surprised at Pettersson's comments?" I just made a video as well about Pettersson's comments, and you know for a fact that I have not been surprised at this. That he's in no rush and he wants to wait and see with this team. Now, when he signed that bridge deal, and I've been saying this for years, okay, is that I started getting nervous about the long-term ability of Pettersson staying in Vancouver. Now, I want to show you this quote, okay, and I'm going to put it on the screen. You won't be able to see me, but Bowden asked Pettersson to talk about what kind of deal he would prefer to sign with the Canucks. This is the bridge deal contract, right, which was really cheap for us, thankfully. He goes, "I want to stay there now, but I also want to play for a team that's winning and has the chance to go far in the playoffs every year. I feel like we've got a chance to do that next year. If we have that chance when my next deal expires, I don't know. I just want to play where there's a chance of winning." When I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, if we don't turn this around. And that is one of the reasons why we're not rebuilding, we're retooling. Because if we decide to rebuild, he's out. And if you got to rebuild or retool, whatever you want to use as a phrase, you want to use Pettersson as one of those people. We have a top end forward, we have a top end defenseman, and we have a top end goalie. Those are things that you can build and become contenders on, right? So I've been saying this for years, that this could happen, that there could be some, I'm not sure if I want to stay here anymore, right? And so that's one of the big concerns. So am I worried? Yeah, to be honest, I am. I am concerned. A lot of people are not that worried right now, and that's cool. Like, I'm glad you're not worried. I'm not losing sleep, don't get me wrong, okay? But this, I'm worried about that statement that he made a long time ago. I'm worried about the conversation he just had, that he's not in a rush and he wants to see how we do. And that's the thing. It's like, now we know that the cap should go up significantly, but the fact is we don't know that. We didn't think the cap was only going to go up $1 million last year. What if it doesn't go up? You sign him to massive amounts of money, cripples our salary cap, and gee, that would just be awful, right? Here's a big question that people are asking today. Does Pettersson deserve Auston Matthews money? Now, Auston Matthews is an elite, talented player. He had a down year last year and was able to sign a deal for $13.25 million for 4 seasons. That's a lot of money. And the Toronto Maple Leafs believe in this guy, and he has produced to do that. Except, I mean, last year it was a down year. He only had 85 points, right? So I understand. But he also scored 60 goals. He also is one of the best goal scorers in the league. He also is consistently one of the top point producers in the league. So he deserves the money he gets. And so I'm asking the question here, does Pettersson deserve Matthews' money? My answer is no. He doesn't deserve Matthews' money. Can we just be really honest about Pettersson's production so far? Yes, he had 102 fantasy points. It was incredible and well done, and congratulations. That is so awesome that you did that. But you didn't crack 70 before that. I mean, you had 2 years you were almost cracking 70. I know that you had an injury and there's other things going on, and I know that there's the talent there, right? But what if 102 is his career year for the rest of his career? We don't know that. Like, I'm assuming he's going to have 100 or close to 100 points this season again, or soon, or whatever. Like, think about it. JT Miller scored 99 points and then scored 82 the next year. If we give him top 5, top 3 money, top 2 money, and he doesn't produce, that gets me nervous. And so I do agree. Like, I've been so frustrated with the Canucks in the past. We have not paid our stars, and we paid our bottom 6. It was terrible management, right? So I'm okay with paying our stars. I just want our stars to produce. That's all I care about, okay? All I care about is winning a cup, paying the guys that deserve it, right? And that's great. But I don't think Pettersson is proven, and that's why I wouldn't pay him Austin Matthews money yet. Now, the other thing that was brought up was he was talking about in that interview with Elliot Freeman was the short-term or long-term. Like, he's going to wait and see, basically. And people think this is terrible news. It actually might be great news. If Pettersson goes out and scores another 100 points, you think, oh my goodness, he's going to want such and such money now. It's like, he already wants not way too much. He wants a lot of money, right? So it's not really that bad if he goes out and gets another 100-point season, 115-point season. Like, of course, you got to pay the guy then, right? But he's waiting and see. He's also, so he's banking and he's betting on himself, right? He's also seeing what the team's going to do. If he scores another 100 points like he did last year and we still missed the playoffs, I mean, we really missed the playoffs. It wasn't close. And this is what I'm trying to say is, like, yeah, that's great that you have personal production, but we got to get the rest of the team going here too. And I think that's where he's concerned. It's like, I don't know if I want to be on a team that's not going to make the playoffs. I don't want to waste my talent and my years on teams that aren't going to win. And so for all those guys that are like, oh, we're all about rebuilding. Yeah, this is why we're not. This is why we're not. This is why we're trying to make the playoffs this year. This is why we want to contend now. We want to start turning the corner, and I'm excited about this season. So here's the thing. What happens, though, if this... Like, I think Pettersson ends up signing a 4-year deal. And it might be, let's say, $12 million at 4 years. I'm okay with that. I think it's a little too high, personally. I would be more happy between 10 and 11 million. We'll see what he ends up signing for. But if it's 4 years and he gets injured, or 4 years and he doesn't produce like he thinks he's going to produce, then maybe after that 4 years, he's not going to get the contract that he's hoping. But for players that produce, it matters. Sign shorter extensions. Like, if I was McDavid, I'd be signing shorter extensions, right? Because you're going to be able to get more money at a higher rate. But I mean, unless you get injured, and then you're kind of hooped, right? So the long term brings stability, but the players that produce outperform their contracts. I mean, Sidney Crosby, $8.7 million, has outperformed his contract every single year. He is absolutely fantastic, and it's interesting to see. So what happens if he goes out and scores another 104? I hope he does. And I hope we sign him. I think he's going to sign back with Vancouver. I think it's going to be 4 years. My guess is it'll be $12 million, and we're going to call it a day, and we won't have to think about this for another 4 years. But if he doesn't, if he waits and says, you know what, I don't want to play here. The good news is he's an RFA, which means that we can trade him. We can get something for him. I mean, that's worst case scenario, right? So it's not that we lose him like Johnny Gaudreau and he just walks. It's that we're going to get something for him, and I don't know what we can get for Pettersson, but it should be a lot. So my question is he a top 10 player in the league? He was last year. Is he going to be this year, the year after that? I'm hoping so, and I don't know. I'd love to hear what you have to say on this. Obviously, this is a little bit of a longer video for me, but thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback. What do you think he's going to get, and how much is too much? How much do you actually, let's scrap that. Just put in the comments how much you think that he's going to sign and for how long. Give me money and term, and let's see if we can be right on this one. I'm saying 12 million at times 4. I'm hoping he signs for 8 at 11. That would be awesome, but he's probably not going to do that. Thanks so much for watching, and of course, always go Canucks.